I play your indie games on itch. Coming up.
I battle with turnips. I play 3D Breakout. I race across some ice. And I help a crab find its way home.
I'm Xanderwood. I make indie games and tutorials on game development. I also play your indie games every week on my channel. Make sure you subscribe and click that bell icon so you never miss a video.
Orbs Arena is a fun game. There are no two ways around it. You play as a little frog-like creature, batting away hordes upon hordes of bats, bunnies, and what I can only assume are turnips, among other things. It's a high-score game. Basically survive for as long as possible in the arena, attacking and dodging enemies. Graphics are well polished, although I would have loved to have had some kind of sword or weapon, as the swish effect was good, but seeing an actual katana blade swoop around as I clicked would have been oh so satisfying. I liked the trail to the enemies after you hit them, and I especially liked the pineapple lane bunnies. The screen shake was subtle and perfectly placed too. The only thing I would suggest is perhaps change up the background as you play. The premise of the game is to keep the person playing as long as possible to attain the highest score possible, so some kind of visual representation of this would really keep people coming back for more. The music was nice, but after a while it became a little repetitive. I did enjoy the sound effects from hitting and destroying enemies, but consider adding some pitch variations so that not every sound is exactly the same. Also, you definitely need a juicy swoosh sound when the player is attacking. The gameplay was simple yet effective. I found playing that the best strategy was to keep to the bottom of the screen, like a 2D platformer, as that way I could mitigate the number of angles the enemies were coming from. I would also like some kind of indication of how well I'm doing while playing, as this would encourage me to continue playing for longer. I saw that there were checkpoints, but some form of progress bar or counter that let me know how long until the next checkpoint would be nice. You gave the player a health potion at the end of each checkpoint, but having these spawn in during the rounds would make me leave the comfort zone that is the bottom of the screen. Also, perhaps include some power-ups like a shield, better weapons, more range, or speed boost, for example. It's a fun little endless arena-style survival game that, with a few little tweaks, would be a game worthy of a small price tag. There is a nice variety of enemies, each with their own mechanics and style to overcome, and the graphics do a great job giving the game retro pixel art feel. If this is your type of game, I would definitely go check it out. Intensity is a game of two games, set in a future apocalyptic world with a cool globe playstyle effect. It's like a mashup of Breakout and any other top-down space shooter you fancy. You'll get mini missions, usually break all the blocks and get your balls into the hole, pinball style. In terms of the game's narrative, we're fighting a turf war among other survivors with big space weapons. The graphics are superb, there is no other way to say it. It's all so well done, from the player sprites to the wonderfully spheric game environment that you play on. The menu and HUD are great, and I love the attention to detail in the pause menu. Likewise with the graphics, the sound is well done and very fitting. There isn't much I can say or add. This is a very well polished game in both audio and visual representation. The gameplay is fun, but I'm not sure all the styles you're going for gel together that well. I found the spherical movement patterns made it almost impossible to use my ship as a bat to direct the ball where it was needed to go, for the most part. I was relying on luck to get all the blocks broken. Also, I just found myself at times wandering around shooting the blocks with my guns, which was a little repetitive. I really like the idea of using the ship to bounce balls, Breakout style, in the global style layout. I'd lean on that more, but that is just my opinion. It's an interesting game with a ton of potential. I think you need to lean on the Breakout mechanics more, as flying around using my gun wasn't too enjoyable, especially when I felt quite overpowered compared to the enemies I encountered. Perhaps I just didn't get far enough in the game to really get a taste for the difficulty curve. Definitely worth a play if you're watching this video, as the game presents a really unique idea in terms of gameplay. Pinguino is a game about a penguin that may or may not get so fat from eating fish it can't make the next jump on account of its oversized tummy. However, after reading the game page, the idea is not to eat fish at all. What? How can I stop this little penguin from enjoying its next meal? Especially when my score increases every time I tuck into some tuna. The objective of each level is to reach your igloo, while navigating an icy terrain of snow, ice, and tasty forbidden fish and seals. I think they're seals. The pixel art graphics were cute and well designed, although the pixel ratio was inconsistent. Consider using the same size pixels to create all the sprites in the game. With different pixel sizes, it looks like the graphics were thrown together from different sources and don't gel together cohesively in-game. Consider not using black lines to divide the different terrain styles. It really stands out and takes away from the flow of the game, especially when I was on a fast run-through of the level. That being said though, the character designs were fun and the tile map background and particle effects look fine. The music was great and fit the game well. I liked that you had a different song play during the game and in between runs. This worked well. Also, the sound effects were well placed and it didn't seem like there were any missing. At least nothing that stood out to me. I enjoyed the Wowie references when completing a level. Nice touch. It's fast and frantic, with quick restarts, which makes you want to try again, despite how rage-inducingly frustrating your previous turn may have been. The ability to speed up and slow down with the arrow keys seemed a little unnecessary. I didn't really use the slow down keys, as every time I landed on the snowy surface after the ice, it automatically jumped me back to the speed I was prior to landing on the ice, which at times was a lifesaver. But when my reaction speed couldn't be relied upon quickly, this was frustrating, as I felt it killed my momentum and caused me to consistently miss time upcoming quicker jumps. Perhaps have a period where you slowly reduce speed back to your previous speed, or just leave the decision with me to press the back arrow to slow down. It's a game jam game at its core, but a nice one that you'll have a fun and challenging time with. The restarts are quick, and the gameplay is smooth. The more you play, the better you'll time the jumps. I did find after a while of playing, the fast pace of the game combined with the close-up view started to make me feel a little motion sick. But overall, I enjoyed my playthrough. Astral Crab is a simple maze game about a crab trying to find its way back to the ocean. But unlike your typical top-down 8-directional maze experience, this game offers something a little bit different. The goal is to navigate a multi-directional maze filled with enemies that would like nothing more than to crush your soul, quite literally. Astral Crab is in search of the ocean, but in order to find it, you must first find the solutions to the puzzles that lie within the maze. The graphics are simple, but that is to be expected from a game made in just 48 hours for a game jam. In fact, the developer has done a wonderful job with the look and feel of this game, considering that they had to design 2 mazes in that time. If I could offer some feedback for the next time, a simple animation of the crab pincing its pincers as you move would be a subtle yet nice touch to the visuals, and wouldn't take too long to implement. So chilled. What can I say? It's a relaxing and perfectly fitting melodic companion to accompany you on your journey. The sound effects are all there and fit the game well. Nothing missed and nothing more needed. Great work. It's simply just 8-directional movement, and it works fine. The speed of the character is fine, and the collisions are as expected. I really enjoyed the subtle screen shakes when moving blocks, so nice touch. The story is simple, yet I found myself invested in getting this little crab to the ocean. The gameplay really comes into its own when you discover the ability to meditate, letting you transverse walls to unlock switches, allowing you to progress, and adding a whole new dimension to the puzzle element of this game. A wonderful little maze-based puzzle with a warm story and a satisfying ending. The game is short, and I managed to beat it in about 5 to 10 minutes, but don't let that stop you from experiencing the sense of joy and completion that this game offers. Submit your game for a playthrough on the channel. There is a link in the description. Thank you as always to my wonderful Patreon supporters James Welch, Clone13, Basic Terror, Cole, Tomorrow Lexic, Zan, Fusel CC and Space Spy.